Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Today is Saturday morning, March 16th, I believe, 2024, and I'm on my way to the flea market to vend. As you can see, it's very dark and rainy this morning, which is disappointing because when the weather's bad, we don't get many customers. And I'll tell you, the last 2 weekends, we've had a lot of customers. It was great. In fact, I'm running late because, we had this beautiful sunrise this morning. But then, a little while later, the sky got that really strange look to it. It's hard to describe. But it's the way it looks right before a really bad storm. And this is right about the time I would leave, and I thought, okay, I'm going to wait because this looks like it's gonna be a doozy. Well, it did. It thundered a lot, which it was good. I was still home because my dog and my cat's big as my dog is, and my cats, they get nervous. They're not real bad about it, but they do get nervous. It was a good thing I was with them. But we never really had rain or a real storm. It was just this bizarre look outside with thunder. But now it's starting to rain. I think it's supposed to clear up later this afternoon, so hopefully we'll get customers then. This coming up week is not going to be as nice weather-wise as it was last week. I could not believe last week it was like late spring, early summer. It was in the 60s. And yesterday, it got up to, I think, 77 degrees, which is really unusual for this time of year. It was wonderful. I got so much work done in the garden, and I found I had stuff survive over this horrible winter from last fall, my cold crops. So this rain is going to be really, really good for them, especially my lettuce, because lettuce, it does so good with, a lot of water. It tastes better, and so this will be good. But yeah, it was a really great week this week. This week, upcoming week, I think mostly in the 50s. We have some days are going to be in the upper 30s, low 40s, which is not going to be fun, but it will get me to get things done inside because I have that problem. I'm such an avid gardener that when the weather's nice, it's like that's all I can focus on, and I don't do anything else. So the inside of the house gets neglected, and I do a lot less of my art too. But anyways, I was thinking, I used to write blog posts about what was coming, what's going on now with the shift and everything, and society and how we got here, stuff like that, usual woo-woo stuff. And I was thinking of a blog, and I ended up deleting it all because I got so frustrated. It was like I was talking to brick walls. Nobody could see what I was saying. Now if I wrote it, I would get a lot more, it would be different. I would get a lot more conversation instead of insults. I mean, there were people who agreed with me, and I had a lot of great followers, but I just got so frustrated because nobody was hearing me. Nobody ever saw what I saw. Now I'm running into a lot more people who see things the way I do. But anyways, this one blog post I wrote, it was called, Did the Creator Create Borders? So it was, now, you guys need to keep an open mind about what I am going to say. Because the problem with humanity is very, very black and white. It's either all one way or the other. There is no gray area, nothing in between. And that's very sad. I think that's a lot of our problems right now with getting along. because people think, well, if she feels this way about this topic, then obviously she feels like those people over there and everything. And it's not true. Plus, this has to do with human evolution. Spiritually, I'm going to say. So anyways, I asked, do you think when Source God created planet Earth, do you think he took out a Sharpie marker and drew the borders? Well, the answer is no, obviously. Pretty much what Source God does is he'll create, or she'll create, or it will create. I usually like to go with it, because you cannot have male and female unless Source God is both male and female. Anyways, the answer was no. Now, at the beginning, nobody really cared about borders for a bit. People were nomadic, which is a really fun way to live, in my opinion. But there really were no borders, no countries, etc. Okay? But we eventually, people are territorial, just like, well, I'm going to say just about every other species on this planet. You have some that are more territorial than others. But most species are territorial. I mean, you take a bird and they build a nest and they've got their babies in there and stuff. You don't think they're not territorial? Oh, yes, they are. Let me tell you, we have a lot of blue jays around here. You don't want those birds get nasty. You don't want to mess with them. Canadian geese, they can get nasty too. So there's a lot of species that are territorial, not just us. So we are the ones who came up with the borders and stuff like that. Now, whether that is right or wrong or not, I don't know. At the beginning. But all these millennia, or whatever you want to call it later, eons later, our borders are more definite, more defined. We're more aware of them, etc. Okay. Now, I believe there are other planets where they don't have countries and borders. It's just like they live as one planet. Now, these planets, however, are much more, I guess spiritually mature, more spiritually advanced than Earth humans are. They get along better. They know how to do a united planet. So, I would love to see that. But I think we have just proven across this entire globe that we are not spiritually mature enough to handle just being all... we are one planet, but the borders and stuff, to handle not having them right now. We already created them. We have seen what happens when some believe in open borders enforced upon others. Well, there's the first problem right there with spiritual maturity. We're just not ready yet. Okay, humanity is not ready yet for open borders. Now, I feel we are probably working our way in that direction. But I don't think it was originally a thing. And, the Creator, he puts things in place. And whatever his creation or its creation wants to do is fine. He observes. It observes. And yes, the Creator's always with us. It's impossible for the Creator not to be, which has always cracked me up. People say, have you found God? God's a little hard to lose. A lot hard. It's impossible. Okay, I'm just going to say that for right now because it's a whole other topic. But we created the borders. And Source okay, you guys want borders and stuff, that's fine. And yes, we did have regions of the world, just like we do now, except a lot less of us were choosing to incarnate here at that time. You know? But then, just like, you know, we're not the only species, people, okay? We're territorial. We're going to protect our family, ourselves, our loved ones. This is natural. Source did instill instincts in us for survival. Okay, so these are natural things. But spiritually, I believe we can and will get to the point where we don't have to worry about borders and we're just one planet. Now, I think with travel, I think we have gotten much further with that. But it's kind of like, okay, you know, you have your family. You say you're a parent and you have children and you have a spouse. Believe me, especially when it comes to a child for you who are not parents, your instinct to protect your children, and I'm going to tell you, even when they're adults, even when they're bigger than you and stronger than you are, you still have that very strong urge to protect them. Except at this point, they'll tell you to knock it off. You do have that. So, you know, you have your home, and that's your territory where, you know, your family lives, where you raise your family. So you're going to protect your family, your property, your territory. Okay, it's in every species. So I believe when you have a country, it's the same way. The people of that country are going to want to protect it. Now, I'm not talking really about immigration specifically. I will tell you, I am the granddaughter of an immigrant, and I'm the mother-in-law of an immigrant. Okay? Now, you can do with that what you will, but always remember, I don't see black and white. I see more in a gray area. And yes, having these two titles in my life does form my opinion. My grandmother, I would sit there and ask her millions of questions about what her birth country was. In her case, her birth country is Chile. My family migrated from Messina, Sicily, to South America. And my grandmother and her sister ended up being born in Chile. And then my family decided to come to the United States. And I would ask her a million questions. What it was like. I even asked her, what was it like the first time you saw snow? You know, stuff like that. But I asked her, what was it like getting here? What was it like going through Ellis Island, etc.? And she had the most fascinating stories to tell. So yes, that forms my opinion. My daughter-in-law being an immigrant, that also forms my opinion on it. I do believe, there was a big flash of lightning over there. I do believe at this point in the evolution of humanity, we are not ready for, okay, we'll just call it open borders thing. I mean, when I wrote that blog post, I was thinking no borders at all. Are we heading in that direction? Oh, I believe so. I thought so back then. Now I believe it even more. But what I do know is we just proved to ourselves we're not ready. We have to be more awake and aware first in order to not let evil pull the wool over our eyes, because that is our biggest issue, okay? And when I say evil, I'm not talking about immigrants or anything like that. I'm not talking about specific people. But there is evil that has been messing with us for longer than you can even imagine. But that's coming to an end. And I think as we progress in this process, humanity becomes more spiritually mature, more spiritually aware. And we will get to that point where we don't have to worry. But right now, yes, I do believe countries need to protect their borders because there is too much evil and there are too many working for the evil. Okay? So, I am neither for or against borders in the whole scheme of things. At this moment in time, no, I think we need to protect our countries. Right now we do. And, things are going to settle down eventually. They will. No, I might have left this realm by then. I have no idea. But it will. I love that view. And this is such a beautiful planet. We really need to start appreciating the beauty of nature much more. That will give you a whole different perspective on things. Travel gives you a whole different perspective on things. If you're going to sequester yourself, be afraid to open your mind and look around and see things that are different from what you're used to. You're never going to be able to understand anything I'm saying. It is your life experiences that form your opinions of what is going on now or what goes on with anything. But don't put yourself in a prison of your own making either. Open your eyes, look around, and especially read between the lines. Think for yourself, think critically. But, anyways, that is my view. And remember, this is my view. You can have your own view, that's perfectly fine. So that's what makes the world interesting, is we're all different, we all have different opinions. And, if we were all alike, oh my God, I would be bored to death. What would I have to talk about? Anyways, yeah, just don't put yourself in a prison cell, okay? So, I'm going to leave you with that in this gorgeous view. Blessed be, and make it a joyful.